I would like to actually right now call upon Tony Wooster. Tony is with the Calgary Soccer organization. So Tony, we'd like to come up here and maybe talk a little about sports and your giving back to the community. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Wooster.
You've heard the policy and the programs that Craig believes in. How directly will that affect you and soccer in our city?
Well, one of the things that Calgary Soccer is experiencing is a shortage of training facilities and facilities for our youth and the adult players to play. Basically, Edmonton has a 40% average of training for their players. Calgary lags way behind at 10%. So, as you being an athlete, our program, we have a real lack of places for our kids to play soccer, and that's indoors and outdoors. As Craig said, it rains out, the kids play on the soccer field, it's destroyed. We're working on getting more artificial turf into Calgary. Edmonton really has the advantage over us there as well. So yeah, the policy would certainly help. Sharing the sports, not just soccer benefits from the rectangular fields, other sports such as frisbee, ultimate frisbee, football, field lacrosse, field hockey would all benefit. So growing our sport helps grow other sports.
How do you send the message out there that we live in a hockey country, that soccer deserves all the funding and the benefits when there are so many people out there that need facilities? And I believe soccer does too. Our kids all played soccer. But how do you convince them that it's important for our city?
Well, for one thing, soccer is probably the fastest growing sport. It not probably is, it is, according to statistics, etc. And where, for example, Calgary Minor, the summer we have 15,000 kids that are registered for soccer. In the winter, we have 15,000 kids. Boys and girls, you've got a 45-55% ratio of girls playing soccer, so they're almost even with what the boys are doing. It's getting them out, it's getting them off the streets, it's helping them. We have a huge immigrant population where they come to Canada, they don't know hockey. Or if they do, they only know it marginally. But you talk football or soccer, and their eyes light up, and they want to talk about their hero Pele or Beckham, etc.
In an ideal world, how many new facilities or fields do you need to change that disparity between what Craig was saying, practice time is only 15% of the time, 85 would be games, which I think most of us would agree isn't ideal.
It's not ideal, and right now, basically, Calgary has two soccer centers, one in the southeast and one in the northwest at Bearspaw. Calgary Minor owns the one in the northwest, and the Calgary Soccer Federation owns the big one. We need one in the northeast. There is something being built there, but we need more. We need something in the deep southwest. There's all kinds of opportunities in Calgary for soccer. Craig's idea of the sprung structure covered artificial turf and having hockey, it allows so many more people to participate in those sports at the same time.
Any questions here? Hang on. Sorry, no questions.
I must have answered well then.
That's right. Succinct. Thank you, Tony, and thank you for all the parents in the soccer side. I know you guys are working hard on that, and hopefully we'll work together on this.
Thanks, Craig. Kelly.
One last. Yep, and we have, last but not least, representing Hockey Calgary, a great man. I've known Perry for a few years now through Ray Jones, alderman on the Ward 5. So, ladies and gentlemen, Perry Cavanaugh.
Hey, Craig. How you doing?
So just so you know, this is live, so it's kind of like hockey night, summer camp.
Been there.
Okay.
Been there, done that.
Well, I know you've had other stuff on the go right now. Craig, his campaign, a $200 million sports and recreation policy. We as a hockey country, we're passionate about it, but we're always looking for funding. You guys are always trying to make improvements for the programs out there, all the terrific programs that you have. How do you think this will directly affect Hockey Calgary?
Well, this is a huge announcement, and I want to congratulate Craig on being innovative and thinking forward in terms of the changes that are necessary to meet the sport needs here in the city of Calgary. In particular, with respect to facilities from a multidiscipline nature point of view that Craig references, and he and I have talked personally on prior to this evening, that is so the right thing to do in terms of the spending of corporate dollars and of municipal dollars and other private money that hopefully from a partnership point of view are going to support the construction of these facilities going forward. We can't continue to build the big fancy brick and mortar facilities. We need to be innovative, thinking outside of the box. We need to get some programs in place that are going to meet the interests and needs of the majority of the sport playing population here in the city of Calgary. Bottom line is, this guy has thought of a solution which is wonderful. It's one that Hockey Calgary certainly supports, and we're quite proud to have our names associated with Craig Burrows, and we hope that Craig is extremely successful going forward in this quest.
Thank you. All right.
You don't have to say thank you. That's his line.
I do. Okay. Well, I tell you what then. How about this, Barry? Can you give us experience? I don't think people understand the frustration of sometimes dealing with City Hall policy. Give us a story, and don't take an half an hour to say this, but Max Bell. What took so long to get Max Bell up and running?
Well, good example, and I'll try to give you the Reader's Digest version. You know, the bureaucracy associated with getting a project like that up and running was quite amazing and an eye-opener for me. It took us almost 8 years to go from steering committee to sod turning. And the amount of effort that went into lobbying to get the individuals on side to move forward with that project, and then the business side of it with respect to partnering, utilizing capital from Hockey Calgary in a partnership basis with the City of Calgary, was really a frustrating exercise, in particular when you're relying on a volunteer base who don't have the expertise associated with raising significant capital for those projects. Boy, what an exercise in frustration. At the end of the day, we were successful. But something that was budgeted to be in year 1 of 8 to be approximately a $4.5 to $5 million project, 8 years later culminated in a $12 million project as a result of the bureaucratic stalling. So that's not a process that we ever want to experience again. We want to see that be streamlined and move forward with, again, the solutions that you're putting forward.
With Craig's policy, how would you hope to work with the mayor, future mayor? In terms of facilities, we all recognize are very important, but I'm almost embarrassed to say this past February I want to get caught back up again, so I went to one of those big box hockey stores, and I was blown away, really, by the cost of the equipment and so on. What are you guys trying to do, or what do you need so that you can actually get, Tony spoke about the growth of soccer. Hockey, from what I understand, has sort of reached a plateau. How can we get more kids and equipment so they can use those facilities?
Well, that's a very good question. Certainly we need the facilities first and foremost. We have to have a place to put them. The current demand on the system is so extreme that we've got significant limitations around the number of registrants that we can put, team sizes, team playing time, practice times, etc. So that creates an issue for us. Equipment costs are unfortunately significant. Skates can cost you anywhere from $50 to $500, if not more, $800 to $1,000 these days. Outfitting kids is going to be a big challenge. Certainly in terms of the capital required for facilities under alternate programs, some of that capital could be diverted towards, providing equipment for new players that want to come in and enjoy the game going forward. So, Kelly, I think there's lots of options available to us, if we can look at the solutions that Craig is recommending.
Now, one big question is ice rinks for people who don't also play hockey. So figure skating, ringette. By putting these sheets of ice online, how is that going to help people who are in ringette or other people who use skating, like figure skating?
No, absolutely. This certainly isn't a single sports city, and between soccer and hockey, we sort of monopolize on a significant large population as far as registration is concerned. But there's, over 120 different sports that are represented in the city of Calgary. So it's very important that we have multidiscipline facilities and multidiscipline utilization of those facilities. So certainly the on-ice side, to me, that one's a no-brainer, Craig. We can get those kids out there in a shared prime time or non-prime time ice activity for our senior recreational players. But most importantly, we need to address the needs of the lacrosse guys, the dry pad type activities, and other activities that can take place there. So lots of utilization on non-ice surface as well.
Good. Any other questions?
I think that's
Good. Yeah. Perry, thank you so much. I know you've a lot on the go here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Thanks.
Thanks, Kel.